This is Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcome in the first timer to the program this morning. He's the founder and president of Gulf Coast Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ken White. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So the Gulf Coast Organization, tell us about it. Give us the history and the mission of your organization.
Okay. Well, the the Gulf Coast Organization, we were founded in 2001, but it stemmed from a vision that I had. I was working with kids back in 2001, and I knew something struck with me that I wanted to help focus on building the lives of kids into mature adults. So I had an opportunity. I went to school in New Orleans at the University of New Orleans, and so I had an opportunity to work at 6 elementary schools doing a after-school program. And so that kind of gave me the confirmation that I needed to be doing more with working with kids, because I saw the impact that I was having on those kids, where they held themselves accountable for their actions. They would come up to me. They used to call me coach. Hey, coach, such and such. Hey, coach, KG, he got in trouble in class today. And KG would know that, well, you can't participate today, or there was some type of consequences that came along with that. And I even saw where the teachers were coming up to me, thanking me. So I knew that what I had thought I needed to be doing was confirmed through those deeds and those words of affirmation. So fast forward 2011, the vision, I began to lay out the vision, what I wanted the organization to look like. And we went forth with founding it in June of 2011. And I can say that in 2018, we have now over 30 scholars. That's what we call our students. We call them scholars. And we have implemented several different initiatives, and we do a lot of service projects to help our communities.
Indeed. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to Ken White, who is the founder and president of the Gulf Coast Organization. Let's talk about the initiatives that you all currently have. What's going on over there at Gulf Coast?
Well, we are a community organization that focus on college preparation and career planning.
Okay.
And so through our flagship initiative or flagship program, the Jumpstart to Great Start, we are giving our students access to resources that will help them transition from high school to either college, military, or a vocational trade. I tell my kids, my scholars all the time that that's what I desire for you to do. College, I advocate for college because I believe education is great to have. But I do recognize that everybody's not going to go to college. So what is your plan of action? So we talk about military options as well as we're getting some type of trade. And so we do several symposiums where we bring in speakers to talk to our kids about the different career path, as well as what path did they take, whether it was going straight into the military and then coming back, going to college, or if it was going through college and then now working in their career, or even talking about the struggles of graduating and now trying to find a job that you desire to have. So we do a lot of symposiums focusing on giving them those resources. We talk a lot. We just had one in February where we dealt with financial aid, the scholarships that are available, how to select the college for you, what's required of those colleges, as well as we looked at branding, how social media, the things that you put out there can impact you. We talked about being able to build your resume, building your personal statement, as well as giving them tips on how to interview. So that's one of the components to the initiative. Under that same initiative, we also have our teen court program, where we focus on giving our kids a platform to further understand the judiciary process. And so they have an opportunity to participate in real cases of their peers. These are minors, but my scholars get to defend, prosecute, and work in the jury to determine the outcome of these kids' offenses. You deal with truancy, trespassing, fighting, even theft, nothing that deals with these kids going to jail or prison,
right,
but simply, maybe giving them an opportunity to understand the mistake that they made. So from that, our kids have a direct understanding of those decisions, as well as they're engaged in public speaking. So they get to work on bettering their public speaking. And then I think another great component to that is that our kids have an opportunity to meet judges, attorneys. They get to meet the workers or the staff of the courts. So then they can make a determination, do I really want to work in the legal field? Do I want to work in criminal justice? And so from there, we made some history being the first community organization to participate in the Texas High School Mock Trial Competition.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a great opportunity for us. And so from our experience in our Teen Corps program, we're taking our kids to Washington, D.C. in July of this year, July 8th through the 14th.
That is super dope. I'm loving everything that I'm hearing about what you guys are doing over there. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Ken White. He's the founder and president of Gulf Coast Organization. Bro, what was the real inspiration behind it? Like, because, and I'm asking that because everything stems from something.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like growing up for you? And then what was the inspiration behind you just starting this? Was it something that you saw, or, something that particularly happened to you and a friend, and you was like, you know what, we need to make some changes here. Let me do A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Great question. Well, I'm a native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and one of the things that resonated, I come from a two-parent household. Both of my parents work, and I say that because I remember there were a lot of programs that I was not afforded the opportunity to go in terms of financially, because they said that my parents made too much money. I don't know the finances of my parents. I was a child, but I would imagine having 4 boys in the home, my parents may not have had the disposable income to put us in all of the programs. Now, we did a lot. We always went to summer camp. I played piano, so I took piano lessons. I played basketball. So it's not to be confused with that our parents didn't expose us, but I just remember there were a lot of programs that targeted families who could not afford these programs.
Okay.
And so I said, you know what? That's great. It's needed. It's a must-have. But I didn't want to create an organization that focused on just inner city or
lower income.
And I actually had a gentleman, my wife and I, we were getting beignets in New Orleans, and we ended up talking to this guy in front of us, and that's exactly what he thought. Oh, what made you want to work with inner city kids? And I was like, well, we don't necessarily only work with inner city kids. We work with all kids, because I believe if I take inner city kids, mix them with outer city kids, or whatever term you want to attach to that,
take the kids from the city and meet with the kids in the suburbs.
Yeah, they get a better understanding of kids, and kids can be kids.
Yeah.
So, and I believe that has been a derogatory concept of only focusing on inner city kids. When you say that, then they begin to say, oh, you're dealing with poor minority kids.
Right.
And yes, I love our inner city, and yes, I do work with our inner city, but again, Gulf Coast Organization wasn't designed to only work within our inner city. So the name Gulf Coast came from, I didn't want to be limited to what we do. So the vision for the organization is much bigger than what is seen today.
Okay.
And I want to be able to spread all of our initiatives throughout the Gulf Coast region, thus Gulf Coast Organization. So the vision stemmed from what I experienced as a child, what I saw even as an adult, also based on the organizations that were already in existence. And so I wanted to, again, create a prototype that would create our next leaders, as well as prepare our kids to be very competitive in this global economy. So whether it's for college, because we see, hey, these kids they have to compete to go to some of your top tier schools. So I want to be able to, I'm not in this to pull kids along. I'm here to push the kids along.
Yeah.
So if you want the help, I'm here to help you. And we're going to give you that jump start to the great start that you need.
Indeed. You listen to Access Houston, talking to Ken White, founder and president of Gulf Coast Organization. So this trip to D.C. That you're taking the kids on, How did this come about, and what are you guys going to be doing?
Well, it was something that I wanted to do because I believe in exposure.
Yeah.
Just like you have me in the radio station today. Hopefully one day I'll be able to bring some of my scholars up here because they hear the radio, but they never see the inner workings of what goes behind the scene, what it takes to put a program together.
Oh, it's a lot.
So if they get that exposure, they may say, you know what, KG, I want to do what you do. What do I need to do? Can I come in every day and just shadow you for an hour?
Yeah.
So the purpose of the trip to D.C. is really to, again, expose our kids to our nation's capital. We don't have some of the things are not finalized, but we are working on getting into the White House. I can say we have been confirmed to go to the U.S. Capitol, so I think that's very important that our kids see where our laws are being made. We're working on doing college tours to Howard University as well as Georgetown University. And then we're going to have some fun as well.
Want to go to the museum?
We definitely, absolutely. We're still working on getting those tickets as well. So we definitely want to expose our kids to history and to things that help define who we are as a nation. And so we'll give them that platform to be introduced to those things.
That's dope. Good luck on the White House visit.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm not rocking with this administration.
Well, let me say this, because I've heard that. Well, I don't want to go because of this administration. And my response to this is, I don't care about the administration and going to visit the White House. It's a historical landmark. As one of my professors, the late Dr. McCoy, he asked us in class one day. I'm a graduate from Texas Southern University. I have a master's in urban planning, so shout out to the urban planning department there. And I remember sitting in class, he said, class, what is the most expensive public housing? And we all just sitting there and we're like, what is he talking about? And I'm trying to think of projects that I've heard about.
Right.
And he simply said, the White House. He said that's the most expensive public housing that we have. So I look at it from a historical standpoint. I want to go see the White House. I've never been to D.C., so I'm more excited than probably the kids are.
So
it's not about the administration. I get it, but hey, it's there for us. And this administration is only going to be there for a short time anyway.
Yeah. It's going to be a long, hot summer. Mueller is rolling in on the Russia stuff. But back to the kids here. You're having a scholars reception.
Yes.
And the golf course organization, they are the Gulf Coast. I caught myself. The Gulf Coast organization. You're having your inaugural scholars reception, honoring some folks in the media and arts and entertainment. Talk about that for me.
Okay, well, the scholars reception, this is, like you said, this is our inaugural reception where we're going to be honoring high school seniors with scholarships. Again, the premise of our organization is to be able to push our kids to the next level, helping them transition from high school. And so we're going to be honoring them with scholarships. And we're also honoring individuals from the community. And so Houston, I can tell you that I am pleased to announce that Mr. KG Smooth is one of our honorees. He'll be getting an award for our GCO Connection Awards in the media and arts and entertainment field. And I could say that, your work, what you do in the community does not go unnoticed. So we thank you for what you do in your way of giving back to the community. So it's an honor for us to be able to share that moment with you, just to say, hey, thank you. We recognize what you're doing. Thank you. We also have two other individuals, Mr. Hyro Alanis. He's the owner of a construction company. He has a phenomenal story. He'll tell you he started a company because he couldn't find someone to help him, to mentor him. So he did it on his own. And so I'm pleased he'll be able to share more of his story at the reception. And then we also have Dr. Chandler, and Mr. Hyro, he's a recipient of our Community Development and Entrepreneur Award.
Okay.
And then we have Dr. Chandler Checksnyder. He's a pharmacist, so he's a recipient of our STEM award. Again, we're focused on education.
Right.
And again, it gives our kids a understanding that there's not one way to get it right in terms of how you define success.
Indeed.
Our keynote speaker is Judge Daryl Jordan. We'll also have Judge Elaine Marshall. She'll be giving
Judge
words.
Marshall.
She'll be giving words of empowerment to our kids. Yes, shout out to Judge Marshall. I think she's doing a phenomenal job. And congratulations to her for being the first female Black American to reside over the city of Houston's municipal courts. So, she's actually the judge over the teen court program. So,
okay.
Yes.
Nice. I love her. She's been on the program a time or two.
Yes.
So, yeah, shout out to Judge Marshall. Hey, Judge Marshall. Well, this is going to be incredible. Is it open to the public? Can the public
Absolutely.
attend?
Absolutely. We're actually encouraging the public to come out and attend. The event is scheduled for Saturday, April 7th from 6 to 8 p.m., so it's not a long program. It is going to be set up like an award ceremony. It's cocktail attire.
Okay.
It's at the Katy ISD Legacy Stadium. For that day, the tickets are still available. You can go to our website at www.connect2gco.org, and that's the number 2. And you can register. The event is also registered on Eventbrite. But if you go through our website, it'll take you to the Eventbrite
link. Okay.
The tickets are $100. And for those who are saying, well, that's expensive, it goes towards us being able to give these scholarships.
Yeah.
For students, because we are encouraging to bring students. Student tickets are $25. And there will be food. So we'll have entertainment. We'll have a great time. And then they'll get a chance. Come out, students, adults. You'll get a chance to meet our honorees. You'll get a chance to meet judges. Miss Katy USA, she'll be there. We'll have some other team pageants that'll be there as well. We have as our MC, Mr. Rick Flanagan, who's the retired Houston fire chief. So he'll be there as well. So come out April 7th. You can still get your tickets. For those who can't come but you want to make a donation, your donations are welcome as well.
And the website one more time.
www.connect2gco.org. And that's the number 2, connect2gco.org.
I'm glad that you came through, bro. I mean, this is to know everything that you all are doing and to know what the mission of the Gulf Coast organization is. I'm definitely here for it, my G. And you saved the date for Saturday, April the 7th for the Gulf Coast organization's inaugural scholars reception. It's going to be a good time. I will be honored. Thank you all so much for thinking of me. People say I do a lot in the community, and yeah, I'm out here, but I don't do it for reasons like this.
Right.
I just do it because I feel that it's right, and I use this platform purposely to make us more self-aware about things that are going on.
That's why you know you're doing it for the right cause, because you're not looking to be awarded for what you're doing.
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. I mean, it's a calling, and I feel that it's my duty to do what I do, especially on this program to make us Black people more self-aware, brown people more self-aware, and the city of Houston more self-aware to the things that are going on. So thank you for that.
Let me add this too, because you hear the stereotypes. The event is in Katy, but it doesn't mean that we don't support the events that go on in Houston, or that we're not looking for the support from our Houston residents. Believe it or not, our kids are all around in Harris County. And so we just chose that place because we do have most of our kids do come from that area. But, for those who are thinking, it's in Katy, they don't need it, think again. You'll be surprised that there are a lot of kids out there, they're not getting the resources that they need. And so it's very important. We support the events that go on here. If I may, I'll share, just so people know. I don't want no one thinking that we're just about asking for money. We train our scholars to give back. So every year we volunteer at the Houston Food Bank. We also volunteer at different senior living facilities. We just went to one recently. We played bingo with the residents there. In 2016, when Louisiana had the historical floods, we were able to help several families in the Louisiana area to somewhat recover to the best that we could do. We've done that. We do back to school drives where we help kids with backpacks and supplies that they need. We have partnered with some of the classroom with teachers to make sure, hey, if there's a need, we want to be able to, throughout the school year, provide those materials, whether it be Kleenex, sanitizer, or, paper and pens. Just recently, we partnered with, in Louisiana as well, because again, it goes back to the name of our organization, Gulf Coast Organization.
Right.
We helped an alumni chapter of AKAs in Louisiana with their prom pop-up. And so we here in the Houston, Katy / area, we were able to receive donations for dresses, shoes, as well as some of the accessories so we can give to those young ladies to make their prom memorable. So again, this is why we do. It's not just about, providing access to resources, but it's also making them aware someone is given to you, so now you should pour out into someone else.
Yeah.
So I just believe if we're all giving, then you are receiving.
Indeed.
And so, and also let me mention, I know I mentioned Miss Katy Miss Katy United States. Her name is Lindsay Murray. So I don't think I mentioned her name earlier. So I wanted to make sure I plug that in, because I'm very appreciative of everyone who's going to be at the scholars reception. So
which is April the 7th.
April 7th.
At the Katy
ISD Legacy Stadium.
Legacy Stadium.
At the Legacy Stadium. It's the new stadium for those who are not familiar with the Katy. So just ask, where's the new stadium, and they'll get you there.
Well, save the date and make sure you go to the website, connect to GCO.org. And connect the number 2 GCO.org.
Follow us on Facebook, /connect to GCO. And we're also on Instagram, or the gram, as the youngsters will call it.
Call it the gram.
Connect to GCO. Everything is connect to GCO.
Man, Ken, I want to thank you for stopping through, coming on the program to let us know about Gulf Coast Organization. And thank you for thinking of me and honoring me at your inaugural scholars reception. I really appreciate it. I like what you all are doing, and I just see it growing and getting bigger, and know that you all have an open invitation on this program to get the word out about the great things at Gulf Coast Organization.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.
We'll be back with more Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.